Hey guys, welcome back to That Florida Feeling. How's everybody doing? It's a lovely Friday here in Florida. If you saw the live video, you know I'm on the beach. And I'm actually still on the beach. I kind of wanted to record one podcast from the beach because it is Florida. And since Florida has 1,350 miles of shorelines, it's not hard to find one around here. Thank you guys for everybody who liked, subscribed, turned on notifications to hear the rest of the episodes on That Florida Feeling. You guys are amazing. You can also check out the future one, or you will be checking out the future ones and the one that's going out today. So thank you so much. Thanks to all the new people who liked the Facebook page and joined the group. You guys are amazing. It's so much fun to see you guys answer the polls and kind of interact. And apparently I'm one of the few that doesn't like turkey for Thanksgiving. Gotta be different somehow. Did you guys enjoy the circus episode? I hope so. I thought it was just kind of a cool thing to do, especially after the spooky month, to do something a little bit fun. I honestly had no idea how big the circus really was in Florida until I did that episode. I kind of want to go to that estate now and really view it and take it in and look over Sarasota Bay. But today, I am far from Sarasota Bay. I'm actually on Cocoa Beach, which is right below Cape Canaveral. They are supposed to do a satellite launch, or a spaceship, one of the two, launch tomorrow. Hopefully the clouds move out for that. That'll be kind of cool to see in the morning. I'm also maybe 4-ish hours from Miami. I'm up north. So it's fun. It's a nice beach. There's a lot of open space. There's a lot of really cool places to check out here. But it made me think about road trips and Florida road trips. I know that I've talked about roadside attractions in Florida, but now I really just want to talk about the road trip itself. Think about a time when you guys took a road trip, whether it was with your family or by yourself or for whatever reason, family, jobs. But everybody's kind of been on a road trip, and you get to find those fun gas stations, little markets, some with mass-produced souvenirs and some that are more looking homemade and still kind of cool. But Florida has some really cool places that you can definitely road trip to, and it's really kind of fun. If you live in one area of the state, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily like the other areas of the state, so you get to take a road trip to a new part of Florida. I always thought that they were fun just because you get to see new things. You get to see the parts that can be off the beaten path if the, I-95 or 75 or 4 didn't take you there. You get to see some back roads, some farmland in certain parts of Florida, new little towns that have really good restaurants and things like that. So just think of a time when you took a road trip. You probably have a favorite one in your mind, and just kind of, reminisce about that. That's really how I feel today after driving to Cocoa. But I was going to tell you about my favorite road trip in Florida. Actually, I have two of them, so we're going to talk about them. My first favorite road trip, I was living in the Panhandle. We had just moved down from Tennessee, and we were going to go to Disney World. So what's the best way to get to Disney World from where we were? Well, of course, it was 10 all the way over to either 75 or 95 and then go down to 4. But, road trips are fun, more fun when you make stops. You got to make stops along the way. You got to find the random 7-Eleven with the taquitos or sorry guys, there's a ATV going behind me. There's actually really cool turtle nesting here, so a lot of people doing conservation work, which is really cool. But back to the road trips. So going from basically Pensacola to Disney World. So we drive down 10, which, God love Florida. It's like the most boring interstate in the world in Florida. Because northern Florida, give you a little clue in, does not look like the southern part of Florida for obvious reasons. It still gets cold up there. So there's bigger trees and leaves turn colors and cold. It can be very cold, things like that. So we're driving down 10, and we had never really been to other parts of Florida we had been, but we hadn't really paid attention, because when you're younger you think of the palm trees or you go to Destin, but that's not really how southern Florida looks. The palm trees are different, the atmosphere is different, it's a lot warmer. So we're driving down 10 thinking this is so boring, and we get to Jacksonville. And then we have a decision to make. Are we going to go stay in Tampa for the night and then go back to Disney World? Or are we going to go to St. Augustine? Well, St. Augustine had a better selection of bars, so we obviously chose St. Augustine. That was really where we first fell in love with the ancient city. But it was really fun because we got to drive places we'd never been before in Florida. We ended up going straight through Jacksonville, which I'd never recommend. We saw the Publix stuff, and I think there's a Winn-Dixie warehouse up there in Jacksonville, and so it was interesting to see the rest of another big city in Florida. Stayed in St. Augustine, walked the fort, did all the normal touristy stuff before we lived there, and got up the next day, and we're like, all right, we're going to go to Disney World. How do you want to go? So, again, obviously it's 95 over to 4, but A1A seemed like a pretty cool drive, so we did A1A for a little bit, and there is some beautiful scenery going through Palm Coast on down to Daytona. And it was really fun. We found random 7-Elevens, random Publixes, cute little markets, lots of fresh fruit. You know, and those are the things you don't always get to see when you're driving on the interstate, no matter what state you're in. They don't always have the cute little fruit stands that are off the beaten path or things like that. So that was fun. Ended up in Orlando. Of course, stayed at Disney, stayed on All-Star Movies, I think, that time. And that was fun. It was another part of Florida, the I-4. I'll be nice and call it corridor. I have some other names for it. If you've ever driven it, I'm sure you can think of some other names for it too. But on the way back home, we decided we wanted to go another way, so we went 75 and up, and that was even more fun. We got to see more of the part of Florida that we hadn't seen, more of the farmland and middle of nowhere and little markets you've never heard of to stop and get fresh fruit and popcorn, peanuts and candy and some foods like that. It was just fun. So what's my point about all this? My point about all this is I miss road trips. I think that it's an underrated thing. I think every now and then you just need to get in the car and you need to go somewhere. And if you do come to Florida for your road trip, there's just some amazing places that you can find off the beaten path. Even Cocoa. I mean, Cocoa's kind of well known, but right below it, you know, you've got Melbourne, which is a really nice place. Satellite Beach isn't far. And, of course, Cape Canaveral with the space. Which, by the way, I didn't know they renamed Patrick Air Force Base Patrick Space Force Base. And I'm sorry, I laughed for like 15 minutes over that. And all I can think is Buzz Lightyear. But I know this is kind of one of those weird episodes, like I did the one time where I just told you what I liked about Florida. But now I'm just going to tell you I like road trips. And Florida road trips can be really fun. Especially going down to the Keys, seeing all the little towns between Miami, Homestead, and Key Largo. Or whether you're driving from Tampa down to Naples and you're going through Sarasota and Venice, Arcadia, all the little fun small towns in between. So I just guess I wanted to do a nostalgic visit today, sitting on the beach, recording this podcast, and just say really that, you know, make time for yourself, make time for the mental health, make time to go on road trips and see new things and try new things and meet new people and either be thankful or sad of where you live, because you never know. That's how we actually ended up coming to Florida. We got some days off and drove from Nashville to Panama City, fell in love with it, and a month later we were living down here. You know, change is scary, but you never know what you're going to find. And I know right now a lot of the world really is about, it's just one change after another, and you never really know what's going on. So take that time to do those trips, to sit on the beach and ponder living in a new place or finding another job, or just not answering your phone. Sometimes it can be simple as just saying, you know what? No, today's really just about me. So this is not a long podcast. This is probably not my greatest podcast, but this is one I felt I needed to do. It's shorter, but it's really just to say it's okay to take time for yourself. It's okay to miss the simpler things, and it's totally okay to just get in your car, go north, south, east, or west for a couple hours and find somewhere new. All right, guys, I promise the next episode is obviously going to be longer. It's going to be on a fun Florida thing. I'm thinking pirates. Y'all like pirates? I think Johnny Depp looks good as a pirate. Anyways, probably pirates next, guys. But thanks for listening to this mini little, I don't know, soapbox rant, TED Talk, whatever you want to call it. And just remember to take time for yourself this week, especially as the holidays come about. All right, guys, don't forget to like, listen, and subscribe. Join the Facebook group, Facebook page. Find me on Instagram, Twitter. Email me at thatfloridafeel@gmail.com if you want to even just say hi or suggest some future episodes. Thanks for listening to me up to this point. I would not have done this without you. I have over 500 plays, you guys. That's amazing. You guys continually just amaze me every day, and I appreciate all the love. If you have a second and you could do a Apple review, 5 stars would be greatly appreciated with a comment. It kind of helps get the podcast out there. All right, guys, drink water. If you're like me and on the beach, wear your sunscreen. Stay bundled up if you're somewhere cold. And as always, guys, that's your daily dose of sunshine.